interesting guest stopping by the studio from Dependable Computer. I got my bud, Tim Covert, who's going to be talking to us about computers. From Health Choice Chiropractic, we've got Dr. Dunn, Dr. Matthew Dunn, who's going to be coming in tonight talking to us about the gentle procedures that he uses each and every day to help people with subluxations. Now, that sounds like a big word, but he's going to tell you in very simple English exactly what your body is trying to tell you with those aches and pains. Then, of course, this weekend, we're going to be talking about the big remote broadcast event going on at the Peachtree Dive Center. That's over off Highway 54 in Fayetteville. Every year, the Carowinds have been nice enough to invite us to come out for their big tents.
There's Kenny Chesney. That's why I'm here on 92.5 The Bear, your community station, where we continue to play South Metro's best country, plus the legends. Hey, it's Tuesday night, Hometown Radio, Scotty B and Bonnie B. What's going on?
Well, I told you tonight we were going to be talking about some health issues, and for many of us out there, those everyday aches, those pains, those things that pull and nag at us and sometimes keep us awake are just one of the things that one of my friends here wanted to address tonight on the radio. And with us from Health Choice Chiropractic over off of Shake Rag Hill is Dr. Matt Dunn. Welcome to 92.5 The Bear.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bonnie.
One of the first things I said when I walked into your practice was thank you for letting me come in and select you to be interviewed tonight on the radio. I did not know, though, that recently the television crews had paid Health Choice a visit because you were recently spotlighted on 11 Live. How about that?
Sure, we were on one of the 11 Live morning shows, and we're interviewed about a new treatment that we're doing that we actually brought to Georgia. We were the first clinic that brought it to Georgia. We've got 5 that we own in Metro Atlanta now, and just been really exciting past year for us.
Yeah. Now, you're a young person. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but I can just tell by your appearance. That was one of the striking things when I met you, that you're young, you're a professional, you chose medicine. Why chiropractic for you, Dr. Matt?
Well, I had worked with a chiropractor when I was younger, and I was just so intrigued by the things that I was seeing in his office, and it was just so much different than a typical medical office. The people were happy, they were glad to be there, and they were really feeling good. It was getting people inspired and excited about their health, which is something I hadn't seen from the medical profession, and really I had never envisioned myself as part of the medical profession, but chiropractic really struck a chord with me, and it's just been a wild journey ever since.
So when you were a kid, did you have a stethoscope? Did you go around taking everybody's temperature and everything in your house and do the doctor thing?
So.
Yeah. Now, you're a graduate of Life College.
Yep, right here in Atlanta.
Tell me about your years spent there. What would you think the greatest asset that life added to you as a physician has been?
Well, I think it's a great school. I actually moved to Georgia just for chiropractic school. There's only 17 chiropractic schools in the United States, so Georgia it was a great, Atlanta was just a great place to come, and really enjoyed the university. A lot of people had asked about their accreditation things in the past. They had some issues, but I think it's become a really world-class institution, and the education I got there I thought was great. Just got to see hundreds of different patients of all walks of life.
Lots of good things.
If I remember correctly at the time, too, that the accreditation thing was a library issue.
It was politics and bookkeeping.
Yeah.
It wasn't an educational thing at all.
So a lot of good things have been said about those that come out of the Life program. So you chose chiropractic. You're helping people on a day in, day out basis. How many years have you practiced?
I've been in practice for 2 years now in Peachtree City.
Yeah.
And that's been kind of my home base. Throughout the last couple of years, we've opened up 3 other clinics outside and then taken on 2 more. So it's been great.
Now, do you see patients after they've been to their primary care physician and they just cannot get rid of some of the aches, the pains, and the things like that? Or do people come in sometimes and see you from what I call scratch?
We see both. For real simple neck pain and back pain type things, people may just find us on the internet or they know to go to a chiropractor. But for some other facets of our practice, such as the herniated disc treatment that we do and the neuropathy treatment, these people have been everywhere and they're frustrated and they don't know where to turn, and we're usually the last resort. So I get people that are, they're hurting and they're exhausted and they're incredibly skeptical, and so we've got to deal with those issues before we can even start to get them well.
Yeah. Now, how do you go about assessing a patient? Because one of the things I learned as a friend of mine sort of walked me through their study in chiropractic is just because maybe my leg hurts, the problem could be rooted somewhere close to my back or my neck. So how do you assess where the pain originates in a patient?
Sure. Well, the whole premise of our profession is that the nerves that exit out from the spinal cord go to every cell, organ, and tissue in your body. So just because it hurts in your feet, they're probably, unless there's an open sore there or some kind of injury, it's probably not really coming from your foot. It can definitely come from the low back, which is where those nerves start from. So we're always tracing things back to the root cause and trying to, assess where it came from and then what can be done to correct it.
Now, one of the things I also want to do is, if you've never been to a chiropractor, but maybe you've seen a chiropractor on television, the laying you down on the table, the pressing, some of the motions and range of motions that they'll make you go through. Chiropractic today is not what it was 20 years ago. It has really progressed into what a lot of people call the term gentle chiropractic. So talk with me about that. It's not a bunch of pushing and pulling and popping, is it?
Right. That's kind of what people perceive as chiropractic, is this sort of popping and twisting motion, especially of the neck. And that's really, although some chiropractors still use that and it's fine, that's kind of more of an old school thinking in terms of chiropractic. The more modern approach uses gentle instruments. We have a lot of different ways that we can gently put those bones into place where you're not even really going to hear that popping motion any longer.
And one of the things that a friend of mine told me, I guess I could ask you to confirm, is that one of the ways chiropractic treats you is to try and get remedies that don't involve masking symptoms like sometimes traditional medicine can do, where they give you a powder potion or a pill to alleviate the outward symptoms, but yet the underlying cause still remains there. Chiropractic is actually addressing that underlying cause.
Right, and the whole premise of what we do is that, the body is a self-healing, self-repairing mechanism. And the example I use is, if you cut your finger, within a couple of days, you'll start getting new skin back there. Well, it's not the Band-Aid that healed the skin, and it's not the Neosporin. It's the inbuilt processes in the body that are going to repair it. Now, those, all things being equal, the body will move towards health rather than away from it. But we do a lot of things as human beings to screw it up. Lifestyle things, diet, exercise, and smoking
Sitting
and drinking.
Sitting at that PC all day long, those kind of things.
So those are things that we can actually control, but there's a lot of things outside of our control. And that whole repair process is controlled by the nervous system. And that's what we as chiropractors work with. We want to make sure there's no pressure or stress on that nervous system. And that's what we're trained to, detect and correct.
I hope you're going to stay around because I'd like to take a short time out, and then when we come back, I want to ask you about what an exam is like, some of the equipment that you use, what you're able to see through diagnostics, through x-rays, what you can tell me about my spine and about my overall health through an examination. With us tonight in the studio from Health Choice Chiropractic in Fayetteville is Dr. Matt Dunn. We're going to be talking chiropractic, all about your bones, as we continue here in your nervous system on your community radio station. Glad you're listening. 92.5 The Bear.
There's Aaron Tippin, his Working Man's PhD. Coming up, George Strait and a lot more on your hometown radio show for this Tuesday night edition with the Killer Bees, Scotty B and Bonnie B.
Somebody asked for a doctor? We got a doctor in the house. We got Dr. Matt Dunn.
Cool.
Yes, from Health Choice Chiropractic here in Fayette County. You're a chamber member. I need to brag on you about that as well. The community is so important down here. Everybody knows each other. And when I came to your office, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the two specific procedures that are, I don't want to say exclusive, but your practice is becoming well known for, of course, the herniated disc treatment as well as neuropathy. I'm going to start with neuropathy, and first off, since that's such a big complicated word that I don't know if I could spell it, certainly Bubba couldn't spell it, but what is it and why is it so important?
Sure. Well, neuropathy is when you get tingling, numbness, pain, or burning in either your hands or your feet. A lot of times diabetics will get it, but also people who've been through chemotherapy or have long-standing back issues can also get it. It's something that the medical system hasn't really had a good treatment for a number of years, and they really just kind of manage the pain with drugs, and people get real frustrated with that. So that's kind of one of the things we're real proud of. We brought the treatment from Arizona to Georgia. We were the first clinic that had it here. Now we've got 5, and it's just been, the response has been overwhelming.
Now you said a tingling feeling. Is this the same as a my hand go to sleep feeling, or is it different than that?
It's different than that, and the people that have neuropathy will know what I'm talking about. But it's a very annoying, even like restless leg syndrome.
So is there involuntary movement with neuropathy, or
There can be, because you lose feeling of where those feet are at in space. So you're constantly moving. That's what restless leg is. You're constantly moving because your brain doesn't know where your feet are at in space. It's trying to resync them together.
Wow, that's kind of complicated. So you see a lot of patients that have this. What are some of the means that you use, I guess in layman's terms, since we're all listening here around the radio, for treatment of this? And is there a cure, or can you just lessen the symptoms?
Well, there's no real cure for neuropathy. The treatments that we do, we use a various different treatments. I won't get into all of them specifically, but everything's non-surgical, and we don't use any drugs. But we actually just encourage those nerves to wake up. It's a pretty revolutionary kind of thing. It just hasn't been seen before.
Now, herniated discs, also another specialty there with Health Choice Chiropractic. What does the term herniated mean? I've heard bulging discs, herniated discs. What are they?
A herniated disc is just the progression of a bulging disc. It'll bulge first, and then it'll eventually herniate. And basically what happens is the discs are right next to the spinal cord in the spinal column. So when a disc herniates and pops outwards, it pushes on that spinal cord. And just like we talked about with the nervous system, that's going to affect a lot of functions of the body. And by the time you're having pain, sometimes it's even too late at that point to treat it.
Wow. You know, a lot of people don't even realize the circuitry of the human body is just exactly what you said, and that is the main train system. It is that switchboard that gets everything, your internal organs, your metabolism. Do you know that if you're sitting out there and your metabolism is slow and sluggish, that a good chiropractic regimen can actually help get that metabolism running again? What I'm saying out there, girls, is I've gone to a chiropractor in my past and actually seen weight peel off because my organs my metabolism got back up to where it needed to be, and I was actually able to process food and burn energy again at a normal level. So this is something that you really, especially if you're progressing, your female organs out there are getting a little age on them, which is what we all go through, you need to think about chiropractic as one of the ways to keep your system running, especially as we age. Let's talk about allergies, because the pollen has popped out this week. The yellow color is just about everywhere. We're all prone to get some headaches, but chiropractic can help that as well.
Sure, and it's going to get worse even as we probably progress in the next couple of weeks here. And we don't claim to necessarily treat allergies, but we notice that all our patients that have allergies tend to improve in this season when they're getting the regular adjustments. And the nerves that come out from the neck go to the sinuses, so that area is just vitally important to keep aligned in order to keep that system, functioning properly.
For the person that's never been to a chiropractor, tell us what an adjustment actually entails. How long am I on the table? And I start first on my stomach?
Typically, you're going to start on your stomach. We're going to feel the spine, and we're going to detect, anywhere that we feel misalignments. We may do some muscle work in there to kind of loosen up those muscles.
And you stay in your own clothes out there. I know what you're thinking, so no blue gown with your hiney out.
No gown or anything like that. It's very fast. Adjustment maybe will take 1 to 2 minutes, so you're in and out of the office. It's painless. Like I said, we're not popping and twisting things anymore. It's just a real easy procedure.
Now, tell me a little bit about nutrition, because many chiropractors offer some nutritional counseling as well as gentle chiropractic, because it really is about your entire body, your entire system, and your overall health. It's not just arms, legs, muscular and skeletal system.
Sure. Well, we're trying to keep these systems functioning properly, and part of that is putting in good fuel and just making sure that your body has what it needs. If we were all eating a wonderful diet of fruits and vegetables constantly and, water, then we may be in better shape, but most of us aren't, to be honest. And so we need to supplement some of those vitamins and minerals in there. Now,
during the week, what's the hours that somebody can come and see you if they want to come and visit Health Choice Chiropractic?
Well, our Peachtree City Clinic is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 until 6, and then we're open on Saturday from 9 until noon.
And your website address?
The website is www.atlchiro.com.
Wow. And a phone number quickly in case somebody has a pen handy.
Sure. It's 770-408-0184.
Well, I hope that you'll come back and let us pick your brain again and ask you some more questions.
Anytime, Bob.
Because this is very interesting. With us in the studio tonight from Health Choice Chiropractic, one of our friends from the Fayette County Chamber, a wealth of information and a great chiropractor from what his patients say. This is Dr. Matt Dunn. Hey, we've got more right around the corner. We're going to be talking computers. We're just fixing all kinds of stuff tonight on your community radio station, 92.5 The Bear.